Back again with a little bit more information on the serial controller for ATEM. Previously we talked about the basic unit, which has just the program preview and cut and auto buttons with a T-bar. I've also briefly touched on the Ultra, which has extra buttons which include the mix, wipe selection, background and key selection, and it has a key bus and also has a downstream keyer, and it's got a built-in display. Now here, this unit here is basically the basic unit with the optional mix, wipe buttons and downstream keyer, which I'm calling the basic plus version, which is exactly the same as that, except it's got the extra buttons, and this is exactly the same as this, but it's also got extra buttons again, which are these buttons up in here. Let's get a bit of focus happening there. And with the display is in here is a separate unit. It's just connected by a little 6-pin DIN, and it's exactly the same display as here, except this one is built in to the unit, whereas this one here you can optionally plug it in or not plug it in. And over here is where the display unit plugs in, and we also have an optional tally connector on here. And with the display unit, let me see if I can get this without a flare. If you hit the in normal mode, it just displays the current inputs that are on the selected on the ATEM. And if I actually go up to the ATEM and change the inputs, let's go over here, you'll see that the inputs are changing over here as I select them, and you can also hear the relays clicking on the tally box, which is the tally box behind here. These tallies, there's 8 tallies on here, and you can actually, using the setup menu, you can actually allocate any relay to any light. So just in case you wire up an incorrect tally, you can just reprogram it on the box without having to unwire it and rewire again. But I'm going to cover that in a different video. For the moment, I'm just quickly introducing you to the serial controller for ATEM basic unit with the options. With the display unit, we have the ability to be able to just go into menu. I'm not quite sure whether that's focused or not. And in the menu mode, we have a couple of different a couple of different menu options. We have just normal operate control, and we have diagnostics if you need to do some testing, and the other one was system setup. Now this system setup I discussed in a previous video using the shift button on the side here, but you can also do it in here, and you've got a few more options on here as well, which I'm going to cover again in another video. But I'm just quickly going to explain that with the optional display unit, you can do functions that aren't available on the models without the extra buttons. See, on this on the Ultra, you've got these extra buttons here: background key, selection of mix, selection of background, and downstream keyer. And on the basic unit, you don't have any of those. But if you actually got the optional display unit, you can actually control those using the display unit. That's what I'm just going to quickly touch on here. So if we go into, let me just go over to operation, go into operational mode by pressing set, and then you have all these different control commands, and as you scroll through them, let me just say there's downstream, you can select the downstream key on. You can select the downstream key auto. What that does is it allows you to fade on. Then you can select mix or wipe, and background or key buttons. Anyhow, there's a whole range of this fade to black. There's a whole plethora of commands that you can do, including setting white patterns, and I'll cover that in more detail later on. I just want to just quickly show you here, for instance, like, so this is select downstream key on. Now if you actually have a look at the ATEM at the moment, it's not, there's no downstream key on at the moment. But if I actually go and go set, get rid of the flecky, and let's go over here and press set, it now says the downstream key is turned on, and if you actually go and have a look, you'll see it's turned on. I'm just going to toggle that and turn it off again, and there it is off. Now let's just see what happened up here. I think it came right up there. Yeah, there you go there. So that's the downstream key on. Just put a picture behind it here somewhere. There you go, there's a picture behind it. While you're in this mode, you can still be using all the control panel functions up here, including the there we go. Just go back up here. So it's me just doing the T bar trans. You can see it's quite smooth, and of course I can then go and do it as a dissolve as well. So with the downstream keyer on, we use the menu downstream keyer on. If I now just go down to the next one, I keep on losing focus. This is DSK Auto, and we hit set. That will now actually do a fade, and I'll just show you up here. There it is, fading on. I think that's a 12 frame. I'll just go up here. And there it fades on, fades off. So with the with this optional display box, it not only does just displays functions that you're performing, you can actually do the functions, and you can do every function that's available on the Ultra, except you don't have dedicated hardware buttons. You just have menu selects, and then you just go through and select it. And of course, to come out of menu mode, we can just come out of here. I'll just change to setup. Let's go into setup here. There's a whole bunch of different things you can set, which ME you want to use, ME1 or ME2. These are all exactly, as I said, the same menu functions that are on using the setup button, as I explained in a previous video. But here you've got a few other functions as well. You can set source names, and by using the menu system you can get rid of the reflection there. You can actually go in and change the here it's asking for you to select a letter and position of where you want to put it in the source name, and that source name is actually what is displayed if you go back to normal mode. So we just go back to normal mode. Whenever you select an input, that's the name that's displayed when that input's selected. So I'm keeping this very short. In a video shortly, we'll go into detail on the display unit, and I might show you some of the operational features of the different panels as well. So thank you for your time.